I've never entered a YouTube competition before. But I'm going to enter yours, Froggy, because I think I'm going to win. It's a sad tale. Perhaps it might be a good time now to get some tissues. Once upon a time, there was a 15-year-old boy. He was a fairly unworldly 15-year-old boy. By today's standards, hopelessly naive. But like all 15-year-old boys, his manhood was very important. His masculinity defined him. Any attack on his view as himself as a man was a call to arms. And so there I was, on holiday with my mother and my sister, and I was 15 years old. And in relation to beer, I was probably enjoying maybe my third ever drink of beer. And I was limited to that one drink of beer. And I remember looking around at the nightclub and seeing all these other worldly people who probably knew the lay of the land, knew the unspoken rules of such a social gathering, but I didn't. I was hopelessly inhibited, almost paralysed with uncertainty and self-doubt, feeling really out of place. But the beer helped me relax, and I watched what was going on and how people were talking and what they were doing. It was quite fascinating. With it being a hotel which catered for families, the music in the nightclub wasn't too loud. People were able to have conversations, and so I could hear my mother and my sister and every word they were saying. And my sister had spotted a very attractive young German lad who was sitting on the opposite side of the dance floor, looking at her through the crowd. And this went on for about 2 hours. My sister was virtually wetting herself with excitement that this German was looking at her. And there came a point where the young German stood up and walked purposely across the dance floor, coming straight towards my sister, who was almost shrieking with excitement. Now I should point out that I had very long hair. So of course the German walked over and kneeled in front of me and asked my mother if he could have the honour of dancing with her very pretty daughter. At this point, the music stopped dead. It was one of those songs that just went bang on the last beat, just in time for my half-broken voice to say, with horror, "What? Me?" It was bad. I wanted to evaporate. I wanted to cease to be. I'm in my first nightclub, and everyone is looking at me and pointing, and they're not just laughing. They're hysterical. They can't hold drinks. They can't sit up straight. They're doubled over with the hilarity of what's just taken place. The only person who was more embarrassed was the young German whose friends were verbally crucifying him as he skulked back to his place. Now I was 15 and I simply couldn't take this. And my mother, for once, understood that I could not bear this any more, and there was simply no point in me trying to extract any more enjoyment from this nightmare. So I told her I was going to reception to get the key to my room, and I was done for the night. And as I walked across the dance floor, still people were pointing and laughing. I got outside, people were still pointing and laughing. Outside was a sort of a bamboo ramp which ran down the side of the nightclub, and that side of the nightclub was all glass, so I was fully aware that people were laughing at me. But I thought, I'll be brave. I'll make a joke of it myself. I'll rescue some shred of honor from this situation. So I turned to them all, bowed and smiled. Exactly at the moment when a bird swooped down and shat on my head. Not on top. Around about here. I can still feel it. It was cold, but it was very white and very visible, and I think a number of people in that nightclub actually died from laughter. I merely died from embarrassment.